I'm fucking bored. Bored and sitting outside because it's a nice day out. It's not too cold. It's not unbearable. I took my coat off. So that's nice. Yeah. So I've been hearing a lot on TikTok, right? I've been seeing a lot of videos where people say they've connected to 3i Atlas or whatever it is, and it's the aliens that are talking to them and stuff like that because they're coming to save us and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, um, my thoughts on it, right? I had a spiritual awakening. We'll get more into that in a little bit, I think, maybe, if I have the guts to say it. Right? So, it's a fucked up story. It's pretty funny, actually. Uh, but I think mine was God. You know, like I think it's this whole spiritual thing. And the 3AI Atlas. 3I Atlas? I don't know what it's called. Whatever it's called. So, the aliens have been here forever, right? They've been among us forever, obviously, with all the different. There's too much history that points to them being here to not for them to just be coming. Do you understand what I'm saying? So like, for them to be coming to save us is ridiculous. I do. If anybody's seen the Unified TV app, which I've taken a look at, and I think it's pretty cool, and some people say it's fake. So other people, you know, I think it's kind of real. Uh, what they say makes sense, and if you actually sit down and think about it, it kind of makes sense. Uh, but the thing is, so I lost my track of thought. uh, yeah, the Unified TV app. So they say that the aliens that have been here, they're not here to harm us. They only know love, and they're supposed to. The world used to be 90% spirituality and 10% humanity, right? And now, in the times it has flipped, and you can certainly see that. So it's 90% humanity and only 10% spirituality. So if we all actually opened up our minds and we went 90% spirituality, the world would be a completely different place, right? Full of love and hope. If everybody treated everybody out of love, then, you know, the world would be a whole much better place. So my whole thing is do you think it's actually aliens that people are talking to? Because the few videos that I've seen on TikTok, right, is somebody saying that they see this gold come over them and this light and this rush of love and this just great warmth feeling of love, right? Now, wouldn't that be God? I would think that would be more like God-like, right? So when you sit down and meditate and you're supposed to see that over you, right? So like that's God. That's not aliens, right? I would think that's more like they're speaking to. I just realized I can't fly. I mean, you can fly in your dreams though, right? I can't. I can't fly either. You know. See, you lost me. Maybe lose my train of thought. Damn. J Stream. J Stream Ram. Okay, cool. Um. Yes, I was just wondering what y'all thought. You probably think I'm crazy. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. I'm not gonna repeat you. You get the feeling like God. No, I'm asking, wouldn't you think it would be more spiritual, like a more spiritual thing than an alien thing? If you're talking, because these people say that they get messages right from 3i Atlas, or are you just hearing God? And because do you believe in the other side? You know what I mean? Like, do you believe in demons and all that stuff? Like, I feel like shit sucks can do anything anymore. What shit sucks? I mean, yeah, most shit sucks, but it's life. It's whatever you make out of it, right? None of your damn business. I'm in the States. How about that? I'll tell you I'm in the States. Oh, okay. Okay. Thanks. But yeah, so I don't know. I feel like I had a whole spiritual awakening, but mine was more, mine was definitely induced. But there's also people that say like I'm good, thank you. Um, putting your best foot forward, right? That's all you can do. But so I had a whole spiritual awakening, and it was because I was trying to save my boyfriend from killing himself. Like, yo, I did get the watermelons. I did. Thank you. Yeah. So you see my yeah, you see me before. Yeah, I did. And when the watermelon, like, it went to a little ball, like a rubber band ball with the watermelon in it. So it's actually on foot jobs. I don't know. I don't really care. It's whatever you're into. If you're into that kind of thing, I don't kink shame. Yeah. Do you pay to have foot jobs done to you? I mean, if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. I'm not down to give you a foot job, no, but we can talk about it. All right. Well, that's no fun then. All right. Lord of the Onion Rings? That's stinky. Onion rings are not so good, I don't think. Sorry. I definitely get French fries when I go to Burger King. That's all right. I'm not taking money to play either. Yeah, I'm not a hoe. Thanks. No thanks. I don't need to. But yeah, so yeah, had I just thought about it, my boyfriend wouldn't have even been underneath the bridge at the time when I ran up under there. Like, I jumped out of a whole moving car. Like, a whole moving car for it. They said about like 35 miles an hour. I don't think they were going that fast, but I did the whole tuck and roll out of the car because they weren't stopping and going the way like I wanted them to go quick enough. Right? And then I ran down to this dude in a Mustang who was coming out of the park. And I banged on his window and I was like, yo, my boyfriend's trying to kill himself. He's trying to kill himself. I need to get up under the bridge. I ran around to his passenger side, right? And I hopped in. Yeah, I don't know where Courtney is. I didn't even message her. But you're right. Yeah. So I ran around and I made him honk his horn. And I made him honk his horn backing all the way up. It was good, like, I don't know, 600 feet, 1,000 feet, something like that. Like, I made him back up honking his horn. And then I made him drive up this little path. And he couldn't go no more. There's a gate. And I hopped out, right? And I ran up there and I was like, screaming my boyfriend's name. I was like, come to me. Don't die. Like, so, don't jump. Oh my God. I was screaming so loud. Hi, Caleb. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. My bad. I can't pronounce. I'm not even going to try. But hi. Yeah. So I ran up, right? And I ran I ran up this dirt path and I'm screaming up there. And I'm screaming so loud, like I peed myself. I peed myself 3 times screaming this man's name and stuff like that. So I'm on my knees and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, right? And I was told to look up, right? So this is where my spiritual awakening happened. Like, I feel like God spoke to me, or like somebody spoke to me, whether it's the aliens or God or whatever it is, but I feel like it was more God, right? So like I was told that he wouldn't kill himself if I was told to look up, and I looked over and there's a cross. And I ran over to the cross. Now, it's a cross, like, if I stood against it, it was like I was crucified against the cross. No, it's not sad. You know what it was? I did it all out of love, right? So it's not really sad. It's funny as shit, though, because So I look over at the cross, and I run over to the cross, right? And I'm still screaming in his name. And I was told if I could get the cross out of the ground, I would be able to save him, right? So I'm wiggling, and I'm screaming his name, and I got the cross out of the ground. And I picked the cross up, and I held it like I just won everything in the world. You know what I mean? And I was like, yes, I got it. And I went to move it, and I laid it down, and I laid on the cross like I was crucified on the cross. And I was still screaming his name and everything like that. And it felt like what I thought was like these demons were trying to bite at my legs, like they were trying to get me because I'm screaming for him to still come to me, right? And I was told that he wasn't going to get to me until it was dark if I kept laying there, right? And it felt like something was nipping at me, right? Now it could have been the bugs nipping at me because I'm in the dirt and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So but I thought it was demons, right? And so I got up, and when I stood up, there were about like 8 or 9 cops, state boys, just around me. And they said, ma'am, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I was like, I know this looks crazy and stuff like that, but like I know cross and everything, like I know that this looks bad shit, but I'm not bad shit. I was just trying to save my boyfriend. And when I looked over at the cross, it said like I Bennett or something. I have a picture of the cross because I went back to see if it was actually there, or see if I was really loopy. But it's like I Bennett, so it looks close to what his Instagram name is. And I thought he had made it like one day when we were fighting or something, and he had it there, not realizing that that's not actually what it said, right? So I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I was like, listen, I know that this is my cross, like I know that this looks crazy and stuff like that, but they're like, yeah, it really does. They're like, do you want to call? They were like, how did you get up here? Because it was a hill. And I was like, I don't know. I came up from over there because I didn't have any boots on. I had run out of my boots when I ran up there, right? And so they're like, do you want to walk with us? And I was like, listen, I'm not walking anywhere. I literally just got done walking like 5 miles shoes. And the whole day was very symbolic of like what I went through. But I'm not going to get into what I went through before this. But and my feet had mud all over them, and I was tired, and I was like, no, I'm not walking anywhere. You're gonna have to bring a car up here or something. You have to bring a truck. And they were like, well, the gate's locked. And I said, listen, somebody has a fucking key to the gate, so go get the fucking key to the gate. It's not that hard, you know what I mean? Like somebody has to be able to open up the gate because they go in there all the time. So I was still talking to them. I told the one officer, I was like, listen, you just got to tell your demons to go away. Just tell your demons to go away. And he wouldn't brush his demons off. Like, and I was just like, listen, just tell your demons to go away. And he didn't do it. But one of the other officers, he looked such like an officer, like Super Troopers or something. You know what I mean? Like he had the mount me hat on. He had his big round glasses, like, and he was short, and like you could tell he's bald, you know, but like just standing there. He was funny as shit, yo. Funny, but he was like, demons, go away. And he brushed his shoulders off. And then he vanished. Well, I was talking to them a little bit more, and they're like, hey, would you let us hold your cross? And I was like, no, this is my cross to bear. I'm going to carry this cross. like I was serious about this fucking cross. And but mind you, I peed myself 3 times, okay? I peed myself 3 times while all this was going on. I was screaming his name because I was giving it all my fucking might, right? So the guy who told his demons to go away actually went down and got one of the pickup trucks, one of the undercover pickup trucks, right? So he brings it up, and he gets out a towel, and he goes to put it around me. He's like, you must be cold. And I was like, yeah, I'm a little cold. And I was like, you fellas want me to get in this truck, don't you? They're like, yeah, if you wouldn't mind. And I was like, all right, but don't hurt my cross. Like, I need the cross to come with me. They went to, like, they acted like they were going to lay it in the back of the car. They didn't. They just, where I pulled it out of the ground at is where they just kind of stuck it back. They didn't even, like, dig back down there and put it back right, because I have pictures of it. But, so I was like, y'all want me to get in the truck? I was like, all right, I'll get in the truck. I said, do you want me to put the towel down first? Because, you know, I peed myself. And I told them I peed myself. And they're like, yeah, that'd be great. We don't want to get it messed up. And I was like, yeah, right. I understand. So I put it down. They buckled me in. And I was told that because I did what I was told, like my boyfriend had saved himself. But then it was like, it was in my head, I think it was the demons playing with me, because you can hear, I'm not saying I hear voices. I mean like that, you know what I mean? But like, I hear things. I'm not crazy. Don't think I'm fucking crazy. I'm not crazy. Anyway, we'll move past that. But either way, so it played with me. I was like, oh, my boyfriend's going to be floating down the river, right? Mind you, there's no way that he can really kill himself and go in the river. Like, had I just thought about all this, now that I look back at it, it would have been feasible. And I know this. Like, I'm not crazy. I'm crazy, but I'm not really crazy like that, right? So when I went down there and I was like, and I started banging on the window, and he was like, yo, you can't do that, the officer, because he was trying to drive me down there. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, you're right. And I was like, yo, you need to chill out. And then I looked at him again, and it was like a demon had taken over his body again, because he wasn't listening to me at that point. But I saw the dude that was in the Mustang, where I jumped in his car and like made him honk his horn all the way up. He was talking to what I thought was EMTs or whatever, so I thought maybe he had saved my boyfriend, right? So needless to say, they get me back down to the bottom of the hill and everything, and there's an ambulance. I'm like, oh, you want me to go in the ambulance? Okay, cool, no problem. So I get in the ambulance, right? And I was like, listen, I can't sit backwards in an ambulance, because when I sit backwards, I get sick. Like when I was younger, if I was in, the old station wagon with the, with the wood where you had the backwards seat in the very back, if I sat in the back, no matter what, I threw up. I cannot face backwards in a vehicle while it's moving. I throw up. I don't like throwing up. So I get in there and I sit down, and the lady's like, do you need a bucket? And I was like, yes, I could. I'm definitely going to need a bucket, because I'm going to get sick. Because they're like, this is the only seat you have. You got to sit here. I was like, okay. Mind you, this was chemically induced. I'm not going to say what it is. I'll say I had a vial of something and some cigarettes. If you don't know, go ask somebody who does know. You know what I mean? But, yeah, so it was induced, but I had done that like the night before and everything like that. I had already walked. Anyway, so I was sitting in there, and she's talking to me, and I asked her how her day was going. She asked me. And then I was told that her son's name was Steven, or I forget what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was Steven. But I was like, hey, you have a son named Steven? And she looked at me and she was like, how do you know? And I was like, I don't know, I was just told it. I was like, well, just understand that you and your man, like, you guys are going to have a great life together, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, oh, that's good, because I married him. And I was like, oh, good. Well, you found your one, and it's, like, the best thing you could have done. So, like, congrats. And I was like, and you have more kids? And she was like, yeah. And I was told that the name was Ava, and that was wrong. She was like, no. And then I was told it was another name, and I was like, and she's like, no. And it turns out, I was like, well, maybe you have a dog. And then I was told, I was like, no, it's just the demons playing with you. Stop listening. It's just to make her so she doesn't believe anymore, right? So she didn't believe in me anymore, right? So I stopped, and she ends up having 2 sons. But so my heart rate and everything I start feeling like I'm going to get sick, right? And my dad died when I was 16, right? But he trained me and drilled me to the point where, like, I was a winner at everything I did. Like, no doubt, I was a winner. I was just trying to figure out what thing I wanted to go to the Olympics for, you know what I mean? Like, he trained me to the best. I was only allowed to win. So, but he also taught me how to really push through situations, like when I felt like I was too tired and I wanted to give up. Like, he was the one that pushed me more, What up, Jamie? All right, I'll help you tomorrow. I got you. I'm doing something right now, though. I'll be in a little bit. So, yeah, my dad was awesome. And it was the best thing that he could have done. And so my mom died when I was in 8th grade, right? She died of cancer, but she was my best friend. But after she died, I lost all all wanting, doing anything and everything, right? So, um, but my parents are right there next to me the whole time, and they've always talked to me, so I've always heard them. Um, it's just I was really starting to lose my belief, I guess. Maybe not lose my belief because I always believe, but I missed them so much, like I wanted to talk to her so bad. But either way, that's getting off topic. But they were right there. My dad, they were like, yo, you gotta slow your heart, you gotta chill out, you gotta slow your heart rate down, or the drugs are gonna take over and you're gonna have a heart attack. Mind you, I'm 40 years old. Heart attacks are definitely fucking possible at my age. You know what I mean? And so I'm sitting there and I'm breathing and I'm breathing and I breathed it out. And so this is where it gets a little weird. I was told that I can be, like, I'm a demon, supposed to be a demon hunter, right? I don't know what, maybe a healer, right? Because if I put my hands over somebody's head and I say their full name, once they give me permission, I am supposed to perform whatever I'm supposed to perform, say whatever I'm supposed to say. Kind of like an exorcist, I guess. I don't know. This is just what I was told. This is what I saw, right? But I have to do like a whole lot of like a whole lot of work before I could ever try to do that. Like it has to be like an Indian ritual type thing. You know what I mean? So, but this is what I was told I was to do. And what I asked when I was going through the moment was, how will I know when I've succeeded, when I've done it? And the feeling that I got of like almost throwing up, almost having a heart attack, it was so overwhelming and everything like that. And it was so like it was huge. But that feeling that I got is what I was told was going to be the feeling that I get when it's complete. And then all of a sudden it was over. The feeling went away. Like it was there. And then as soon as like I got there, because it was like, Ashley, breathe, you're almost at the hospital, you know that it's only a little bit farther away, because I knew the distance between where I was at and the hospital, you know what I mean, because I was still coherent, I was still in my right frame of mind, I was just having a moment. You know what I'm saying? And but it, so that feeling, and once I got to the hospital, it just stopped, and it was like, take your breath away. You did it. You passed. And when I passed, like, I felt like, because my grandmom, it was weird. It was like my grandma, my mom, my dad, they were all right here. And like an uncle or two that I probably never met, but like there was a whole bunch of people right next to me. And when I did it, and when I got to that, and I didn't throw up or anything like that, like, it was like rejoicing. Everybody's like, yeah, we knew that you could do it. And it was just keep telling the truth about everything, right? And then the truth will set you free. And it really does set you free. Like, there's no point in lying about shit. First of all, I'm too old, and like, Lord knows I can't remember the lies that I tell, right? So I just don't even do it anymore. At least I try not to. I mean, either way, that's scrolling on to another subject too. So I get to the hospital, right? And I tell them that, listen, I don't want no shots. I'm not crazy. You're not going to put me down. Like, I'm not doing any of that. And the lady told me to just make sure I walk in there and be okay and do whatever they need. And like, it should be okay. Just let them know I don't want no shots. Oh yeah. I just say like it's possible at 40 to have a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry that you're in heart failure. I really hope I'm going to say it works out, but that's not the right thing. So my apologies. I'm not being disrespectful. I really don't mean to. But, yeah, so they walked me in and they handcuffed me to a bench. They put me in a room. And the whole time I'm still hearing shit. Like, I'm hearing everything. And I thought I heard my boyfriend, like this whole time that I was in this room, they came in and they asked me the questions, right? I don't remember if they asked me the questions first or if I went and did I think they came in and asked me the questions of the 3 questions. Like, they asked me who the president was. They asked me, I think, where I was or something like that. And then the third one, they tricked me and didn't want to give me the third question. And I was like, give it to me. Give me the third question. I'm like, I'll pass it. And I was so excited because I did pass it. And I was like, yeah, fuck you, demons. Like, I win. And they're like, okay, so you are okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. And then they're like, hold on, we got to get your vitals. So I'm getting my vitals, and I hear my mom say, I'm right here with you. And I looked around, and the nurse looked right at me. And the lady that was sitting there that did my vitals was a heavyset woman. My mom was a heavyset woman, and she gave me this little heart-warming smile that was like, yeah, I really thought at the moment that I was my mom in this woman's body. You know what I mean? And that she was right there. And she's like, Ashley, I got you. Just calm down. She asked me if I wanted a pair of socks because I only had one sock on, one sock off, and my feet were covered in dirt because I had ran in the mud and everything like that, right? So she asked my vitals, and all my vitals come back okay. Everything came back normal because I wasn't losing it. But she went and got me a pair of socks, and I kicked my other sock off and kicked it on the thing. She was like, do you want this anymore? And I was like, no. She's like, yeah, let's throw that out. You're okay. And she gave me a clean pair of socks, the hospital socks. And she's like, now you're going to have to sit back in the room. Now I just wanted a cup of water. I kept asking for a cup of water, and they would not give me. I'm sorry, Lubecker, that you're late on your period. You're probably pregnant, maybe? I don't know. Either way. And hair wash, whatever. Let's get a hair wash. Cool. You are what is called an empath. You feel and sense other people's feelings of pain. I'm the same way. Yeah. So I'm a very big empath. My whole spirituality after this is like completely different than what it was. When I was growing up, I was raised Catholic, right? I was born and raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school all the way up until 9th grade when they kicked me out. And then I went to public school in 10th grade, and I didn't like it. It just wasn't for me. Everything was different. I liked having my uniform. I liked having something to fucking, like, knew what I was wearing every day. I don't know. I liked it. I don't know. So I skipped for 3 months straight. My dad signed me out a month before 10th grade was over so that he didn't have to go to court because it was right before he died. And he kind of, like, lost his mind after my mom died, you know. He was like, they were best friends. So for, like, 25 years they were married. But yeah, so yeah. I've done a lot of spiritual and inner work too of myself because I'm definitely not the person that I was 2 years ago, 5 years ago. Definitely not somebody I was 10 years ago. You know what I mean? I was a completely different bitch. I was completely different. And I really like to know what makes other people tick because I know that I've been through some shit. Everybody's been through something in their life. Everybody has a story to tell. Everybody's got their own path that they've walked. That's why I'm trying to start this new thing called Pass We Walk. And just so I can get everybody's story. I just like to hear what somebody's been through. People go through so much in life. And it's crazy what people have overcome and what people... And it's also, they've been through a lot of bullshit. And probably a lot of bullshit that, like, wasn't necessary through the government or whatever it is. And just shit isn't right in the world. And I don't know. If I can let somebody be heard a little bit more, I think that's something, you know? An empath can sometimes see and hear things others can't, so just know it's normal. Yeah, so this is so, right? So, after they did my vitals and stuff like that, and I kept asking for a bottle, something to drink, because I was so parched. And I kept hearing my boyfriend on the outside going, just let me see her, just let me see her. Yes, I'm not saying his name, but I'm such and such, and I heard my friends whose car I jumped out of, she was there, so was her boyfriend, and they were all there, and they're going, yes, we know her, and all this stuff. And I was like, but it turns out they weren't really there. So I know what I was hearing was not actual reality. You know what I mean? So this is where it gets to the point where I definitely don't think it was the drugs. Because somebody on drugs like that will not recognize the fact that even though that was happening, I know that my reality is not what was actually happening in reality. Hey. Yeah, I think it's more of, it is a spiritual thing. It absolutely is a spiritual thing, you know? And I'm so thankful to have had it happen to me. And I'm more aware. I've always known that something's different. Like, I'm meant to do something. I just don't know what it is. And I think maybe, like, letting other people share their story just might be something that, because I like to help people. And what up, baby? What up, MJ? I knew who you were. How are you, sweetie? Well, there's only one Chad that I know. And, yeah. But I love. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? And did you get your hip replacement done? It was a hip replacement, right? So, all right. So, right. So, oh yeah. So they when I started to get a little rowdy because I was really thirsty, like really fucking thirsty. I just wanted some water, right? And I was standing up in the room and with all the people that were right outside the room because there was a lot of commotion going right outside the room. And I thought it was because like I'm this spiritual person. I just had this gift of God happen to me and like like everything was on commotion because of me. Now, if that was the case, no, I highly doubt it. I highly fucking doubt it. I don't think it was, right? So, but either way, so my mom popped up in the little window. You know, there's a little window, one of those little ones. And her face popped up in the thing. I was like, and she gave me that look, like, Ashley-Lynn, you better sit down. So I sat down. And then they asked me a few more questions, and then they took me out. And the nurse was like, okay, so we're going to give you something, but it's something that's good. It's not bad. It's not going to hurt you like that. So she was like, will you take the shot? So I said, yeah. I was like, yeah, I will. Okay, I'll take this. So I took the shot. Needless to say, I woke up 12 hours later in a hotel, not in a hotel, in the hospital, in a room with a curtain, and it was just bed and, you know, my cuff thing that was hooked up to me, and there's a nurse's station right here, like right next to me. And so I open up, I wake up in a wave, and they're like, hey. Thank you. So I wake up and they're like, hey, you finally woke up. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, can I please get something to drink? So they went and they got me some apple juice and some crackers and stuff and a tuna fish sandwich. And I don't even like tuna fish, but I ate the shit out of that tuna fish sandwich. I'll tell you that. Because I was hungrier than I was hungry. I was down for 12 hours. That whatever the shot they gave me put me down for 12 hours. So I woke up. And when I woke up, I could still hear what was going on. Like, I still was hearing shit. Like, and they had the psych dude. They said, oh, all right, the psych doctor's going to come in to do a psych evaluation on you. Because apparently I was in the mental ward in the hospital at that point. That's where I was staying, you know. So he came in, right? And he said, so how are you doing? And I was like, I'm okay. He's like, do you know what just happened? I said, oh, yeah, I know exactly what happened. And I said what I did. Fully admitted the drugs that I took because, you know, you can't get help unless, you know, you actually tell them what you did. And that was cool. I don't have a problem saying what I did. Yes, I did it. Is it something I do all the time? No, absolutely not. Shit happens. You know what I mean? Life has everything happens for a reason and everything has a purpose. So he was like, when the officers brought you in, they said you were eating dirt. And I was like, what? They said, what? Now, mind you, I had a great laugh with these officers when I lifted up the cross and everything like that and told them I peed myself and got in the car. So, like, I thought we were on a better level than that. But for them to sit there and say that I was eating dirt, I was like, in what sense does that fucking make that I was eating dirt? I was like, do I look like I was? Do I have mud on my face? I said, no, I have mud on my freaking feet because I ran out of my boots. But yeah, no, I wasn't eating dirt, sir. And he's like, yeah, I thought that sounded a little crazy. I was like, yeah, I'm not crazy. I mean, I might be a little batshit, but I'm not crazy. So the guy, he says, well, he's like, so he asked me a few questions. So he asked me, you know, who the president was, all that happy, horky shit. And then he said, do you hear voices? And I said, well, no, not really. I mean, I do hear kind of like a Jiminy Cricket kind of thing in my head, you know? Oh, me too. Thank you. Yeah, it was a great experience, actually. You know what I mean? It was a amazing experience. But he was like, kind of like your conscience, huh? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, not everybody hears that. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, it was news to me too. Now, this is the psych doctor saying this to me. He was like, it was news to me too. I just found this out a little bit ago, but not everybody hears that. Mind blown. Mind blown. I didn't know that. So I asked the nurse, I opened up the curtain and I said, excuse me, sweetheart, do you hear voices in your head? Do you hear anything in your head? And she said, no. And I was like, you don't hear yourself think? You don't hear yourself? And she said, no. What? That blows my motherfucking mind. Like, what? I can't fathom. I don't understand. Like, so what do people hear? When you think, do you hear yourself think? Because I hear myself think, but see, the thing is, I also answer myself. I talk to myself. I laugh. I holler. I talk over myself. That's, I think that's, and I feel like, well, apparently, not everybody does what I do, you know? And that's okay. That's okay. But he was like, yeah, so mind blown. Not everybody hears that. And I was like, oh, shit. And he was like, you're okay. I'm going to sign you out. Are you in Broward? No, I don't know what that is. No. Whatever, no. So yeah. Yeah, so it was very interesting. They ended up letting me go on my own recognizance. Like, they just signed me out and let me go. I just went and I just went out and just walked out the hospital all by myself because I wasn't crazy. Like, they're like, just don't. Oh no, I'm not in Florida. No, I'm actually in Delaware. Hold on, see, look, lots of snow. Lots of snow. Yeah. I think the sky in Florida looks lower. I think the sky looks different in Florida. I like the sky a little down south, like below the canal. I like the sky down there. Oh no, you know what 954 is? 9 is my softball number, and 54 was my basketball number. Yeah, definitely not an area code, but I understand. I understand where you could think that. It's a good assumption. No, it's my basketball, my softball number. I always played 3 teams of softball a year and 3 teams of basketball every year. That is before my mom died. And my mom died and I just stopped playing sports. I was going to be in the Philadelphia Orchestra. I was going to go to the ice game for the Olympics. All kinds of shit I was doing. I don't know how my fucking parents paid for all that shit. Oh, bitch, fucking whore. Oh, it didn't break. That's a good thing. I thought I broke my cigarette. I did not. I don't think it's cute, though, to smoke on camera. So, I'm going to do this anyway. I was nervous as shit just to go live. You know what I mean? I don't know. And then I was told I just have to do it. Just do it every day, and it'll get easier, and it'll get better, and everything. But I feel like, so this whole thing that I want to start with, Pass We Walk, will only go, I figured I should be the first person to tell my story, right? Because how am I going to get other people to trust me and understand that I've been through some shit? Who am I to fucking judge anybody? I've done some shit that I'm not proud of. I don't regret nothing because everything I've done brought me to who I am today. But, yeah. So I feel like I should tell my story because everybody in here, so I'm actually staying in a homeless shelter. I'm staying, it's a hotel or whatever that they made into a shelter, right? Don't judge me, and if you do, you're a prick, and I don't really care any fucking way. But either way, it's a stepping stone for me to get my life back on track and not depend on any man or anybody the fuck else. Because Lord knows I got lazy for a minute. I wanted to believe in other people, and you can't believe in other people. You have to take charge of your own life. You're the only one in charge of your own happiness. Yes, you can have a partner or somebody or a spouse or whatever, that you go through life with, a ride or die. But in the end, you can't even make them happy unless you make yourself happy first, right? Because you can't. You just fucking can't. You can't make anybody else happy until you learn how to make yourself happy first. It's a very good fucking lesson to be learned, and it's very hard, I think, to understand that. My ex continuously says that he needs me, right? And can I put it in here? I don't know how to do that. But it's Grisafi 9. I don't know how to, can I write something? I don't know how to write something. But it's GRISAFI9. You know, the little Cash App thing before that. But yeah, so damn, I lost my train of thought again. Damn. But so everybody in here has a very interesting story. Like, this place has people from, yeah. Oh, there's an A in between the S and the F. It's GRISAFI. Yeah, so, but everybody in here is different walks of life. Like, you have people from a medical unit. So like the hospital has placed them here for them to get back on their feet. Like, it's really supposed to be a stepping stone to be able to get your own place, like get you back rehabilitated into society. I mean, I'm not rehabilitated in society. Like, I'm not here because of drugs or because of anything else. I was previously in an abusive type relationship, but I kept going back because I really did love him and I wanted to show him love. And I know he loves me. I know he loves me in his own psychotic, lovable way, but he doesn't know how to love himself, and he has a lot of unresolved issues, and a lot of his issues stem back to like childhood traumas and things like that, things like he's never dealt with. And so I don't fault him for anything, and I still love him. I just know that I can't be with him. So, hello, sir. Yes, Grossafi 9. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so there's people that have gone through Katrina here. There's an older guy that I'm cool with, and he has been through Katrina, and he was like, yo, we were standing on the top of our houses for them to come rescue us. Like, the shit that some of the people have been through in here is freaking amazing. And the fact that they still have good spirits, and, you know, their spirits are high and everything like that, and, you know, like, they have kids and their kids are doing well and everything like that, like, that just shows what type of people they are. Like, they're strong freaking individuals. And I know I've been through some shit in my life. I know that a lot of the shit I have caused myself, but a lot of things have also been out of my control. You know what I mean? And yeah, I gotta go get my kid off the bus. Shit. Ew. So I'm gonna stop this live for a minute because I have to get her off the bus, and then I have to go put her in aftercare. But after I'm done putting her in aftercare, I'll hop back on here and talk some more with you, because I don't know, I feel good about talking, and I'm pretty bored. So yeah, I will see you all shortly.